es la voz de LA. It's like Cuna Galaxiana, come and kick it with us. I bring the bossa nova beats and talk the club that we love. Another year to adjust, and well, Coons we all trust. 6 titles in the cabin, tell the haters shut up. Mirar al horizonte con el cielo morado. Llegamos al estadio como siempre lo hago. Es la nueva temporada, ya cumplí 30 años. Rezándole a San Pequi que no dé al travesaño. Que repartan los balones y no sean tacaños. Que regrese el contraataque y que le hagamos daño. Un saludo para Robert, hermanos ecuatorianos. Que la táctica de Ananda nunca sean en vano. Si se trata de mi gala me levanto temprano. Ver el fur en verano, en el pasto tumbado. Siempre estoy a tu lado, en cualquier resultado. Vamos Galaxy, on top is where I gotta be. Chilling in the canopy, staging like a winery. Goals during rivalries, brew from the refinery. Only want the finer things, we letting you know. Lo que pasa en la galaxia, ready, let's start the show.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans and all you soccer fans in general. I mean, you really do have a home here, and today we welcome you back to the humble little pod with the big heart as we bring you all the big news in MLS for the Galaxy and beyond. We'll get you caught up on all the playoff action from this past weekend. Look ahead to MLS Cup and the compelling storylines happening there. Delve into some transfer chisme as an LA native is getting mentioned and a hitman striker is now available. We'll also get into giving some grades out to LA Galaxy midfielders, plus some MLS Cup ticket controversy has made a lot of Galaxy fans thankful once again for last year. All that and more coming up on tonight's episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. We want to thank you guys so very much for being here with us. We do appreciate it. Before we go any further, let me introduce myself. I am one of your co-hosts, very, very humbly coming at you and saying thank you. My name is Rob Halon. You can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online and virtually pretty much everything at El Escudero de LA. And since I'm here, you know he's here as well. My co-host, El Papá de Nata, El Gitano Perdido, Ananda Kirana. Shh. Hey, man, you know what? This offseason is gone way too long. Let's find some way to fix that, yeah?
Yeah, and it's like the one week or the one show a week thing is like kind of throwing me off too. It's like I felt this way like a couple seasons ago when we didn't make the playoffs also in 23. It's like it's like, okay, wait, I'm in my chair. Now what do I do? What button do I hit again? Like, where do I go on that? Like,
exactly.
I feel like I'm not like my wheels aren't greased. I'm like, I'm not in the zone, so to speak. Right.
Ooh,
so yeah, exactly. So, but anyways, now the wheels are greased. It's Monday. It's 9 or so-ish PM, and we've got the Cuneros hanging out in chat.
Yeah, man, we got a lot of, I mean, the OGs up in the chat right now, man. Just mass love for y'all, man. Just mass love.
Yeah, and just wanted to say, because, I don't know if we got to wish you guys a very happy Thanksgiving and a very happy Turkey Day. Hope you guys had amazing food, an amazing day with friends, family, a little R&R, much needed, I'm sure, for all of us, especially Galaxy fans, right? Especially Galaxy fans. Like we've been through the mud this year, as they say, and hopefully next year will bring us greener pastures. But again, it's Christmas. Christmas is almost here, guys. It's the holiday season. It's MLS Cup Final time. Remember this story last year. We were gearing up to get ready for the Galaxy's 6th MLS Cup just a year ago. And just remember this, guys. There's 5 more days, actually, 5 more evenings that we're still defending MLS Cup champions. So just hold on to that as much as you can. Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm happy you guys are here. Just wanted to say what's up to everyone in chat.
Wear all that championship gear, y'all. 5 more days.
Exactly. And hopefully we have a good stream. We have a lot more. I was just saying to you backstage, Rob, like we have a lot more to talk about than I thought we did. So yeah, we've got a lot to get through, man, for sure.
Yes, we do. But the very first thing we got to get through, and this is, I don't know if you guys have noticed. I mean, you Cuneros that have been here for a long time, you guys probably have. But if this is your first time or second time, first off, we want to say thank you. And then second off, I mean, we pretty much start every show by saying thank you, because really we're only here by the grace of you, and I mean, you guys basically saying like, yeah, we'll listen to these two idiots talk about soccer for a little bit. So yeah, like I said, I mean, we start pretty much every show by saying thank you to you guys for being out there and for hanging out with us and listening. And you know what, if you are one of the OGs, we love you for it. If you're not, if you're newbie, we love you for it too. Ananda, go find him, he'll take a shot with you, we promise. And if you are one of the now, you know, just general shotdom. If you are one of the more than 700 people that have subscribed to the show, thank you so much. Ananda's always talking about how 1/3 of you listen to the show, enjoy the show and stuff like that, and haven't subscribed. And I'm like, yo, just press the button, dale el botón. But anyway, we do thank you anyway for listening. If you're on X and on Instagram as well, listening, thank you so much. I mean, that's, technology is grand, right? Like cross-platform stuff. But also, you guys can throw in some super chats and send some questions our way. Anything you want to say, anything you want to get off your chest, or if you have any questions, let us know. And I think that means that Ananda is gonna come at you with a couple of things, and then we'll get into some stuff.
Yeah, and it's funny because I haven't even. I think I realized that I haven't done this last couple of shows, so I'm going to bring it back. And you guys can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Cuna Galaxiana. Of course, our tags are there on the bottom. I haven't been as active really ever since the Galaxy got bounced. I think the last thing I did was try to bring you guys as much coverage as possible for the Club America friendly. But yeah, just kind of staying a little bit off the grid, to be honest with you. There you go. Rob is still holding on to dear life for that 6th MLS Cup. And what, I mean, I don't blame you, man. It was a great moment. Something to live off of, I guess, for the next 5 days or so. But yeah, you can find me on there, and you can find us on all of our socials. Our tag is pretty simple. It's the name of this show at La Cuna Galaxiana is the handle there. Rob already plugged everything else, so I guess the only thing is, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches, y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. Again, unfortunately, we're in the off season, but the off season for MLS in general is about to come to a close. We're about to have the MLS Cup Final this week, which we will definitely talk about because it's going to be a big one. But yeah, for now, we can, like I've been saying, hold on to that.
If you hold on,
exactly, dude. So many karaoke one-liners.
Yeah, no. But you know what? I was holding on to this here ring. That, you know, you guys have seen it. You guys squabbled over it. So anyway,
yeah, remember that.
Yeah, yes. So anyway, the reason I'm holding this here ring is, like you said, and I'm holding on to the next 5 days, but I actually have 2 of these, and I want to give them away to you. So we'll announce how we're going to do that in, you know, the next couple of days. But yeah, let us put some bling on your finger. And yeah, hopefully you win. May the odds be ever in your favor. Anyway, let's get into some shout-outs, yeah? Lars, those Larsers, those good Larsers are throwing a good Christmas party on December 13th at 5 p.m. DM them for more details. Same day. Also, ACB is throwing their holiday party open to all G's, the best of times. Go ahead and hit them up at Downey Brewing Co. from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. So a lot of good holiday cheer and fun to be had there. And then that's on the 13th, and the next day, if you haven't had, you know, your fill of Galaxy community, then, and you really shouldn't have, the next day you'll have the blue, white, and gold pop-up to go ahead and go to. That's on Sunday, December 14th from 12 to 5 at Common Space Brewery. A lot of your favorites will be there. Honestly, this is a new one for me. I don't know who Unique Fettuccine is, but I'm super curious, bro. Like, I mean, you know me, you know I love some pasta, and Unique Fettuccine, you had me at fettuccine, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. But yeah, so some good Galaxy creators on that list, man. So shout out to all you guys. I could shout out each and every one of you. I definitely have some merch from a lot of you on that list. So yeah, for sure. Should be a good one. Again, it's that sense of community engagement, especially in these times when the team isn't as doing well. That's kind of what keeps the Galaxy community alive. It's like the heartbeat of the Galaxy community. So definitely show out you guys if you can.
And it is pet friendly.
Hey, there you go. Yep.
Yeah. And if you are unique fettuccine, show yourself. Declare yourself. I'm super curious. But anyway, I digress. This is put on by the Ñaños at 1-2 Threads. Of course,
out.
you know, they're doing their part to keep that G community together. But they also have put up another graphic about more G events that are happening this month and in the near future. Outlaws Community Cup is happening on 12/6. So if you have a team or if you are a +1, go ahead and show up, pull up, throw on some cleats, and maybe Greg will spot you and you know, throw you in Galaxy 2. I mean VCFC. Of course, the Blue, White, and Gold pop-up is on the 14th. The G's Run LA is happening on 12/27 at Absolution Brewing. And then in the new year, Quasar Golf Club Masters. That's I believe an event also put on by Outlaws or Manny and his group who have talked to us about the Quasar Golf Club. So a lot of good opportunities for you to go ahead and engage with your Galaxy family, your Galaxy community, get out there and have some fun. A new episode of Kobe Club is dropping, and you know what? Maya Yoshida is on this one, and this guy, I mean, the captain, he took a lot of criticism for regressing a little bit this year. I think he would even tell you he wasn't happy with this game, but I know this about Maya Yoshida. He's a fighter, he's a consummate gentleman, and he's going to be back this year with the Fury, man. He pretty much told us if he doesn't have a good season, it's over for him. So I mean, yeah. I don't know if that means he's retiring or what, but Maya Yoshida, go ahead and catch what he had to say with Kobe there on Kobe Club. And then we're finishing up here with the announcements and shout outs for Martin Soto. Martin is a longtime Angel City Brigade member. And when I was just a young lad, Ananda, I mean, I'm talking when I first started going to games by myself, you know, when I was going with my parents, it was another thing, you know, but when I first started going by myself and, you know, just having fun with my friends and all the shenanigans that go with that, Martin was, you know, one of the older G's that was, basically a good influence on me. And, you know, he and his family were always very nice to me. So shout out to Martin. But I bring him up because his son had a horrible motorcycle accident. And, you know, he doesn't even know that we're doing this and prayers go out to his family. But, I wanted to put this one out there for the G's family because, like I mentioned, Martin was definitely one of those people that when I was, just a new little G out there all by myself, he kind of took me under his wing, and now's a chance to go ahead and take care of some fellow G's. So I know you know what to do, G's, and I know who you are, so I know you're going to take care of your own. So anyway, prayers to Martin and his family, nothing but the best, and a swift recovery to his son, Alex. So I think that's about it on that, Ananda. And now it's time to go into the news, which is the big news of the day is MLS Playoffs, and we have finalists in the Eastern Conference. Let's go ahead and tell you about this. Well, there we go. There's the Eastern Conference graphic. Yes. And that's how I feel when we get some graphics. So this man, Tadeo Allende, leads Inter Miami to a spectacular thrashing of NYCFC 5-1. A hat trick for Allende. And of course, it's kind of crazy that the headlines go to a man not named Messi when it's talking about Inter Miami victory that takes them to MLS Cup. And while Messi has been spectacular in the playoffs, 6 goals, 5 assists, and 5 playoff matches, in this one he has 1 assist. Of course, he is Messi, and he pretty much ran the show. But Tadeo Allende this young man is going off. Luis Suarez, ¿quién? 8 goles y una asistencia en 5 partidos para Allende. This man is hot. Jordi Alba showing some quality in his second to last game before he retires with 2 assists. And like I mentioned, Ananda, just an absolutely devastating loss for NYCFC, who basically got clinicked off the field. I don't know if you caught this one, but thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, it was a clinic. It probably, for me, when I watched that game, it was probably the scoreline is a little bit kind, I would say, to Inter Miami. NYCFC actually had a really good opportunity, Rob, to tie this game up 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2, yep.
And ever since that point, Miami just grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and just took it right with their quality. And I will have to say this too. I know eSuper1 in the chat saying New York had no business in that final. You know what? The loss of Alonso Martinez was huge for them, in my opinion. 17 goals for them this season. And so, not only a huge loss for them, huge loss for Costa Rica, right? And like the span of that week, I mean, both of those teams' fortunes, unfortunately, flipped upside down. So I think this was a flattering scoreline for Inter Miami, but you know what? Well deserving. And the fact that Messi really didn't have that like Messi type of game, like sort of like jumps out at you, like scoring crazy free kicks and doing these crazy, amazing things, right? Like chipping the keeper and all that stuff. The fact that he didn't do any of that and this team still routed NYCFC 5-1 is it's a warning sign, definitely for the Vancouver Whitecaps in the MLS Cup Final, which of course we'll talk about the opponents in a little bit. But yeah, man, just Inter Miami showed their dominance. I'll park sort of some other stuff, but man, Inter Miami's been really, really dominant this MLS playoff run.
Yeah, and you know what, they've again, obviously Messi has done Messi things and he's produced, but these three guys that scored in this game, Allende, Silvetti, Segovia, Inter Miami is going to be okay after Messi retires in a year or two, with these 3 lads. I mean, they're good players. I mean, Silvetti has been talked about as the second best player on Inter Miami's team behind Messi. Funnily enough, he's also a Rosario boy. So they're producing when they need to produce. And then you have guys like Leo Messi on the team where it's like, hey, you got Allende scoring a hat trick, and then Leo Messi's just like, okay, well, I guess I only have to provide an assist, so
yeah,
it's absolutely nuts. And then they have players like Jordi Alba, who again, second to last game, but still putting up 2 assists. And I mean,
did you see that one though? The one assist, like ridiculous.
The little back heel.
Well, that not only that, but even the early ball to Allende, which was a ridiculous, header. Like both pieces of quality, right? Jordi with the ball, perfectly placed. Allende he peels off of his marker on the back post, that left back for NYCFC, and that's not an easy header. That is a striker's finish, man. I don't know if Luisito does that, right? And it's funny how, like, ever since Luisito came out of the starting lineup, they've been a much better team, Rob. They're a much better team with Allende and Silvetti in the front 3, right? So really, really interesting to see how Mache has kind of made that call. By the way, that's credit to him. The big coaching decision to kind of switch the team. And ever since then, they've been on a run. They've been on a streak.
Yeah, they've definitely turned it on when they needed to. I mean, you'll get into some stuff here in a moment that I was kind of just reading on backstage, but interesting parallels. On the other side, now let's go to the other side here. Vancouver, they defeat the Cinderella expansion team San Diego 3-1, and they end that dream season that they were having with a first half blitz. If the Miami over NYCFC match was a clinic, and yes, New York did have their chances, but Miami probably could have had 3 or 4 more as well, then this was just a veritable blitz in the first 15 minutes that San Diego could never recover from. Brian White, the man who had been missing for the first part of the season, scored a brace. He opens the scoring in the 8th minute with just a hustle play at the back post to get on the ball. And then Pablo Cisniega, he gets the own goal for the 2-0. This is kind of cruel to him how he gets credited with the own goal. There's 2 or 3 San Diego defenders standing near or close to the line, but this one goes down in the 11th minute, and all of a sudden, San Diego's down 2-0 at home in the 11th minute, something that hasn't really happened to them this year. So how would they respond to that adversity? Well, by letting in another goal in first half injury time. Brian White gets his second, basically just chests it in. He gets a cross from, I believe that was Ali Ahmed, and like I mentioned, White just basically runs into it and chests it in. And we have, I believe, Keyshawn was talking about Ali Ahmed earlier. He says Ali Ahmed has been in good form. eSuper1 says love Ahmed. Yeah, I mean, I've got a feign or got to claim ignorance. I don't know too much about Ahmed, but just based on this game, yeah, good little player. So
no, he's a very good player. He's always been a pretty good player for them. He's been kind of riddled with injury here or there, so that's why he's kind of been in and out of the lineup. But every time he's in the lineup, very good player for prospect for Canada as well. So super good player.
Yeah, well, it ended up 3-1. Chucky Lozano gets the consolation goal in the 60th minute, which sets up basically the final that we thought we were going to get: Vancouver versus Miami. I mean, Miami started the season hot. Vancouver started the season hot. A lot of people picked them to see each other, and it has come to pass. This one will happen in Miami at Chase Stadium, Fort Lauderdale. And this one happens on Saturday, December 6th at 11:30 Pacific time. Remember now, guys, Miami won on decision day after Vancouver lost, giving them the points edge and a home field advantage. So decision day comes back to bite Vancouver in the tickets, but I don't think they're going to be crying about it because they're in MLS Cup and it's their first one.
And so did
Miami's first one.
And so did Vancouver losing to the Galaxy at Dignity Health Sports Park. Bit him in the butt too in the end. Trying to give us a pat on the back.
Yes, it was
when everyone expected us to lose. Remember that game? That was a weird game.
What was that? The 3-0?
Yes, that would be correct.
Yeah, that was a weird game. Well, like I mentioned, this is the first MLS Cup final appearance for both teams in their history. Of course, we're going to have a new champion, the Galaxy champions, for 5 more days. One of these guys on screen here, Messi or Müller, will be lifting a title in another trophy in another country. And Ananda, Müller's been kind of Messi's kryptonite, according to these stats that, against whenever they faced off against each other, Müller has a 7-3-0 record against Messi. Of course, famously wins the World Cup with Germany over Messi's Argentina. Shout out Götze, the winner in that one. And you know what? There's a lot of storylines that are positioning this as Müller versus Messi. And depending on who you are, Müller's the villain and Messi's the hero. So, it'll be interesting to see how we get, kind of that feedback from people, what they're hoping to see and who is the villain and who is the hero. And of course, like I mentioned, Jordi Alba, this will be his last game as well. Sergio Busquets, his last game. They ride off into the sunset, either tasting bitter defeat and disappointment or as champions. And of course, on the other side, Vancouver had a really, really fun coach named Vanni Sartini who would jump on stage and sing with Nickelback and stuff. And, got the Caps to a pretty respectable place, but respectable wasn't good enough. He got his marching orders over the summer. Jesper Sorensen comes in, takes him up even another level, and he has capped a magical first season with the Whitecaps with an MLS Cup appearance. First year coach, and he's doing the business.
Oh man, the Vanny Outers, that's like heaven to their ears. That is like the one case study that people will always bring up now in an argument. And if he wins it, Rob, that's going to be another tip of the cap, as they say, or another feather in their cap for all the sort of the Vanny, outers. I mean, magical run. Like, you can't discredit what he has done. A really quick, Rob, just a programming note as well. I don't know if you mentioned this, but it is free. You could catch it on Apple TV for free. You just have to be sign up for Apple TV, and you don't have to pay anything. It is free, and it'll also be available on Fox and Fox Deportes, and I believe it's on TSN Network in Canada as well. So yeah, I mean, this is gonna get a lot of eyeballs, right, for sure. Not only on linear TV, but streaming as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be all over the place, and people are going to be, glued to their set. I mean, this is an opportunity to, if you're a Messi fan, an opportunity to see him just add another layer of history to his already stunning career. If you're a Messi hater, it's going to be a great hate watch for you. And speaking of hate watches, Ananda, do you want to go ahead and hit up this super chat right here?
Yes, sir. Raleigh G, shout out, man. Thank you for the super.
Gracias.
He says, are we all slightly more giddy, a little more pep in the step, and please that Levas FC and SD are out, or just me? I mean, look, as a fan, I think we probably are. There is a little bit more pep in the step, although hate watching is always fun, right? Until maybe, things aren't going maybe in your favor, right? But hate watching is always fun. I mean, look, I said it from the beginning, which is whoever was going to win that Vancouver LAFC series when they met in the playoffs, I thought that was going to be the winner of MLS Cup, and it proved to be Vancouver, right? A crazy, crazy game. Look, from Don Garber's perspective, his number one choice would have probably been Son versus Messi, but look,
all day.
But he will take Müller versus Messi all day anyways. This is probably his second best outcome. So he's still
sitting there like, excellent.
He probably has like exactly 9 peps in his step when he found out that this was the draw. So, and it's being played in Miami. I don't know. I think against LAFC, it probably would have been in Chase Stadium as well. Not 100 on that, but I'm pretty sure that was the case.
I believe LAFC had higher points total.
Was it? Yeah, I didn't remember.
But I could be wrong. Who knows?
Yeah. But I think this is probably the second dream scenario as well. But Raul, a little hate watch is always fun. But yeah.
Oh definitely. Man, we just learned some interesting news about our friend, the one and only. Rocio is definitely a Messi and Miami hater. Wow, she's gonna get along great with my dad. So Rocio, if you want to hate watch with somebody, my dad, is all about that Messi hate watch. Keyshawn says, I think these are definitely the 2 best teams in MLS.
Other than LAFC, I'd probably agree.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Miami's defense has been tested. I mean, you've seen when they've faced.
No, they will be on Saturday. That's for sure.
Right. Well, right. I mean, you've seen them kind of struggle with high potent offenses that are quick and physical and can get at you in the transition. The key is you just can't mess up. So it's like, yes, they can get got at. I mean, teams have shown that they. I mean, Nashville beat them in the playoff run, right? I mean, Nashville is no shade to them. They're probably not considered one of the elite teams in MLS, right? But they still were able to get one in over them in 90 minutes. So yeah, they have their faults. I don't know if these are the 2 best teams. I would say that if they're playing to their optimal performance, yes, they are their 2 best teams in MLS. But yeah, Miami still has some suspect defending. I mean, I would have to watch Vancouver more to find out where their deficiencies lie, or watch that Galaxy 3-0 win over them to really get the scouting report. Basically, Mascherano should just watch that and replicate that game plan.
Vancouver is also a very different team than what the Galaxy face. Obviously, no Thomas Müller. If I'm not mistaken, neither Cuevas nor Berhalter were in that game. There was a lot of I think it was international or something was going on with the national team. There's a lot of absences, a few injuries as well. So But Rob, a couple of, I'm the stats guy on the show, and a couple of
Yeah,
interesting like stats I dug up. And
I feel
again,
like we should have like a little song or something like that, like a little jingle, like a stats corner or something like that when you bring up some stats. Yeah, like
yeah,
stats corner.
yeah.
We'll work on that.
He's a stats guy. Anyways, trying to riff off the Family Guy jingle. Anyways, but Rob, this is an LA Galaxy podcast, right? So I thought about there's actually some really interesting parallels for both teams, in my opinion, that relate back to the Galaxy's run last year to MLS Cup and ultimately winning it. I mean, you look at Inter Miami coming into this MLS Cup final run, Rob. Inter Miami has 17 goals scored to 4 goals conceded in five matches played in their run to the finals. Now in 2024, LA Galaxy had 16 goals scored and 3 goals against in their lead up to the 2024 MLS Cup final. So clearly, if you catch fire at the right time offensively, it's going to lead you to some pretty good places, right? And you look at in the 3 knockout matches that Inter Miami has played, 13 goals scored and only 1 goal conceded, Rob. To me, that's the surprising number. More the 1 than the 13, because I every time I see Miami, we always think that they have some sort of defensive frailty right in the back, but they've only conceded 1 goal in 3 knockout matches, right? And every time they've been in that situation. So that's really interesting. Again, the Galaxy weren't a great defensive team, but the Galaxy were good enough defensively with the help of Emilio Garces, right? With his pickup in form to become a really solid defensive unit in our cup run last year. And the other thing too, on the Vancouver side, Rob, I look at that team and you think about the depth and the quality of that came off the bench in 2024 for the Galaxy. You look at the quality and depth of the bench that's coming off of, I mean, you've got a guy like Ryan Gauld coming off your bench, and that is a DP. That is he can be an MVP. He's got that level of quality. You've got guys like that. Ali Ahmed comes in and out from the bench. You got guys like what's his name? Jader O'Brien, right? Coming off the bench. O'Brien or Nelson? Why did I get
Nelson?
Nelson, sorry. Jader Nelson, right? You've got guys like that coming off the bench, and clearly, Jesper Sorensen has raised the floor of this team in terms of quality. And again, I see the parallels to the LA Galaxy run, right? You had guys like Marco Reus, Diego Fagundes, and Gaston Brugman who pulled off an MLS Cup Final MVP type of performance. So it's really interesting, man. Both teams have their sets of qualities. Both teams are doing it in different ways. Miami, you can argue, a little bit more top heavy than Vancouver, who has more strength and depth. But man, this is going to be a super fun final. I mean, Rob, the first MLS Cup final featuring a World Cup winner, and in this case, 2 World Cup winners, right? And Messi and Thomas Müller. So, I mean, you think about it. In your opinion, I mean, you think about all the MLS Cups in the 30-year history. This is going to be the 30th edition of the MLS Cup Final. What do you think, man? Just from the star power and the eyeballs that this is going to get, do you think that this is the biggest MLS Cup in this league's history?
It is. And it's not only because of the 2 teams that are there. It's not only because of the star power that's there, but it's the unique timing of this match as well. The World Cup is only now I believe it's like something like 200 days away or something like that. So I kind of dislike saying that it's the biggest one, because I feel like there have been better matches or better teams that have participated in MLS Cup, but just from the unique timing perspective and who's involved, I mean, they just on the World Cup winner storyline alone, they can build a huge marketing campaign. And again, if they take advantage of this match the right way, then it could really raise the profile for MLS in the aftermath of the World Cup. But pretty much from here on to when the World Cup happens, everything MLS does has got to be to leverage their unique positioning in the world and the way they do things, and the fact that the tournament's going to be here on this soil to raise the profile of MLS. So I think that in that regard, it is the biggest MLS Cup in MLS history. It needs to be used to advance the game here. and MLS needs to figure out how to make this a compelling event, one that won't be forgotten.
Yeah, because the thing that I thought about too, and I'm in your line of thinking. I mean, Rob, just think about it. You've got probably one of the two most followed stars in world football, right? In Messi, and obviously the other one being Ronaldo. You've got that on one side, and you've got, I would say, arguably the most popular German star maybe ever. I mean, respects to Franz Beckenbauer and those guys before, right? But I mean, Muller is really, really popular in Germany. So you're going to have a lot of eyeballs, especially maybe on the other side of the pond, potentially watching the game. So just based off of that gravity alone, I think it has to be, because I think about, like, you know, those MLS Cup finals with the Galaxy, for example. I think the problem there was it was a very lopsided final in terms of just pure star power. I mean, you had all the stars on the LA Galaxy side, but then the teams they played against, you couldn't, there was no protagonist on the other side, like a Thomas Müller, like a Lionel Messi, nowhere near the gravitas, right? But you had Beckham, Donovan, and Keane. So I think from that respect, I mean, if you look at both sides equally, I think, from my opinion, or from my perspective, I think that's grounds for this being the biggest, and I think it's going to have the most eyeballs for sure. And like I said, this is Don Garber's probably second favorite outcome behind Son versus Messi.
Can't disagree with you. I do see some folks in chat talking about, or Primo. What's up, Primo? He says, where are you guys going to watch? That's a good question, y'all.
We were just talking about that.
I highly encourage y'all to get together and watch this game. Anand and I were talking about how we might just do like a boozy brunch kind of thing. So, hopefully we see y'all in the wild. Israel says, couldn't accurately call it the biggest until it's over. I agree. We don't know what's going to happen. It could be a droll 0-0 goals to penalties and nobody does anything. And then it's definitely not the biggest. But in terms of right now, what we have, I would say at least it has the potential to be the biggest. But it hasn't had a good start, Mananda, because there has already been MLS final ticket controversy. So I said it at the top of the show. LA Galaxy fans were probably going to be thankful once again for last year, because if you were a season ticket member, you were guaranteed your ticket and a chance to get your ticket for MLS Cup. Not so for Inter Miami's season ticket members, who were up in arms and angry as all hell that their season ticket seats weren't available to them. Inter Miami tried to pawn it off and claim that the league was in charge of tickets. This is according to Battered Herons, a Miami, an Inter Miami podcast. So they did the work on finding out what was going on or what Miami was claiming, and they tried to pass the buck to the league. We know from several different sources in the way that the Galaxy handled tickets last year, plus the way that Vancouver was going to handle tickets, and I'll let you know on that in a moment, that is false. Plus the fact that Miami was offering MLS Cup tickets to new season ticket members. If you signed up in the next couple of days, you had the option to buy, you had first dibs basically to buy MLS Cup tickets.
That's wild.
So I mentioned Vancouver. They guaranteed all season ticket members their seats, capped at $44. Blood. That's how you do things. Like, it's not hard, right? Miami dropped the ball here. So then that they had a pre-sale that happened today, which was a disaster. The link dropped late to a lot of different folks that were trying to get this pre-sale. Some never even got the pre-sale code to take part. And then some were complaining of the queue being in 10 to 15K. And then after 30 minutes of actually getting through, tickets. The only tickets that were left were around $400. So it hasn't been a good look so far for Inter Miami, and they haven't even stepped on the field yet. People are claiming that the watch party in Vancouver at BC Place is going to have more people. Around 13,000 tickets for the watch party have already been sold, and of course, BC Place holds many more people than Chase does. So it doesn't really matter that these Vancouver fans aren't going to be there. They're going to be still out in full force. But Ananda, this is a bad look, man. Hopefully they get it together. And I saw a tweet that some guy was like, what they should have done was give every season ticket member that has been there since day one, just giving them a ticket, and then opened the option to all other season ticket members to buy their ticket, get their seat. And I was like, yeah, man, that's a really class way to do things.
There's a lot of ways they could have done this, to be fair.
Except the one that they did, which was horrendous.
Gotta love capitalism.
Yeah. Well, I mean, capitalism exists, only if the people show up. And Israel says people will still show up. Yeah, most likely. But we have seen some really high profile matches, go empty. This is not going to be one of them, but hopefully the people band together and figure something out. How to punitively punish Inter Miami for their shenanigans. But excuse me. So moving on here, former U.S. men's national team midfielder Michael Bradley has emerged as the front runner to be the new New York Red Bull coach. This is according to our friend of the show, Tom Bogert, aka Gambit with the good hair. Of course, Michael Bradley began his professional career with the Metro Stars, now the Red Bulls, after being selected 36th overall as a 16-year-old. He just finished his first season as Red Bull 2 head coach, where the 38-year-old took New York Red Bull 2 to the MLS Next Pro title. First year, only head coaching job, wins the title. I would say that's a pretty damn good start. He impressed New York Red Bull brass with a possession-based style that's kind of in contrast to the way New York Red Bull actually plays, which is a more high-press style. Of course, Bradley played a starring role for the U.S. men's national team with 151 caps, played in Europe for teams like Mönchengladbach, Roma, and then came home to MLS, where he played for Toronto FC, his papa at one point as well, and then won MLS Cup in 2017. Good luck to him, just not against the Galaxy. And then LA Galaxy alumni news, Omar Gonzalez is joining the coaching staff at Chicago Fire 2 as a player coach. So he will continue his playing career while mentoring the players of tomorrow. He says, I'm looking forward to mentoring, challenging, and supporting them, the young players, that is, as they become professionals both on and off the pitch. That's what we needed Omar to come do over here, son. Just mentor these young lads over here.
Yeah, that was Zabaleta's job, man. We had that already. Shout out.
Who's gonna do it now? Dang.
I don't know. Bring Papa Gaston back.
I like it. Bring the Mate boys back, dude.
Yeah.
So more Galaxy alumni news. Todd Dunivant, also per Tommy Bogert, apparently NYCFC will name former Galaxy defender Todd Dunivant as its next chief soccer officer. He will leave the Sacramento Republic to join NYCFC. He's been their GM since 2018, named club president in 2020, and really presided over that Sacramento team in a moment of flux when they were just about to come to MLS, lost their funding, and really he in a mini way he kind of reminds me of Del Piero, man, when La Juve got knocked all the way down, man, and he refused to leave La Juve Well, Dunivant refused to leave Sacramento in its moment of need, and now he's getting a reward. Next chief soccer officer of NYCFC. He's going to be inheriting a pretty decent team that made the Eastern Conference Final, and he's shown that he's more than adept at spotting talent and building a team. So good luck to Todd Dunivant and what he does over there with NYCFC. Again, just not against the Galaxy. This one is huge, Ananda. The World Cup draw. Yeah.
Really quick. Well, speaking of huge, do we want to talk about just the last little Chisme alumni news that had to be mentioned, at least in these parts? So the chat.
Dale.
So the chat. So
I know you want to revel in this one.
Chat. Sound off on Chicharito, man. What do you guys think of? Basically, Chicharito's could have been his last final kicks or minutes of his career, and coming out in such a Chicharito way of going out, missing, absolutely skying a PK to Rosie for his boyhood team, and ultimately losing in the playoffs in the Liga, right? So
yeah, I can't say anything good about the guy, and so
he's just been his downfall has been ever since the Galaxy, man. Like it's been unreal, actually. Really, it's like, super. You used a perfect word, tragic. That's the word that came into my head.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, yeah, it is tragic to see him fall off so hard, and not only just on the field, but like in public and personally and stuff like that. Just like el vato necesita callarse y entrenar o retirarse. Ya estuvo. That's pretty much it. Like, pero definitivamente callarse for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, happy trails, Chicha. Happy trails.
Oh man. Yeah, well, that's the second time I've seen him dismiss an absolutely crucial penalty.
Oh geez, don't remind me of the other one. That was the little the Panenka that wasn't. I remember that one.
Yeah, and he cost the Galaxy a playoff spot.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct. That he did.
That's what it was. I mean, hey, guess what? We're in the playoff hunt, and this is absolutely vital. I'm gonna try Panenka here. Yeah, sure. Credit for the stones, but just the brains right there, man.
XPH says he holds the record for most goals with the Mexican national team, but he also holds the most missed penalties with the Mexican national team. Yeah, I mean it goes with the like it's the statistics thing, right? So the more you take, obviously the more chances you have to miss. But his penalty record, just his mental record, has not been very, very healthy or very well. So, anyways, moving on.
Israel's very right here. He says, jokes aside, I really hope he gets the mental health support he desperately needs.
That's actually a fair point. Yeah, fair point.
I mean, Chicha has been vocal about his troubles with mental health.
He's struggling, man, for sure.
And definitely he needs the help right now. So yeah, we credit to Israel for bringing it back. We kid, we laugh, and I mean he's earned some of the derision, but he does need the mental health. So hopefully he gets it. But yes, Primo, you're right. Awful PK taker. Never again. So anyway, now that we got your pettiness and chisme out of the way, let's go ahead.
Excuse you, ours. Anyways, moving on to other huge news.
Yes, I'll take credit for that one as well. This one is not chisme, but this is probably some of the biggest news happening on planet Earth right now. The lead up to the World Cup draw taking place on Friday, December 5th, here in the United States, in Washington, D.C. This is where, if you're unfamiliar, this is where they're going to sort out the teams, where they're going to be, like, and what groups are going to be. So this year, or this tournament, the field is 48 teams instead of the traditional, I believe, 32. I believe that's correct. And now there are going to be 12 groups of 4 teams each. This draw starts at 9 a.m. and it's going to be televised a lot of different places. Fox, Telemundo, TSN. You can watch it at FIFA.com. And there are 42 qualified countries already, and those 39 are split into 4 pots as determined by the FIFA rankings. So you know how we always talk about the FIFA rankings, like, oh, what are they even used for? What are they good for? Well, apparently they're good for this. So the FIFA rankings were used to determine the pots. Obviously, the host nations are in pot 1, USA, Canada, and Mexico. And then the 2 FIFA World Cup playoff tournament placeholders, as well as the European playoff placeholders, are allocated into pot 4. If you remember, there are still some teams that have not qualified that are going to be going to the playoffs. Teams like Bolivia and Suriname that will be facing off for a chance to still make this World Cup. All the groups A through L can have no more than 1 team from each region, except for UEFA, and that is because UEFA has a bunch of teams in there, so they get 1 European team per group for sure, and no more than 2, so some will have 2. And for the World Cup draw, FIFA has adopted a seeding structure to ensure that the 4 highest ranked nations, Spain, Argentina, France, and England, can't meet until the semifinal, which I kind of like, actually. But that's should they win their respective groups, of course. So like we mentioned, there are still some playoffs happening. 42 spots have been sewn up already. There are 6 to be won so far in March. And then the way this is going to go, guys, is that the draw will begin with all teams from pot 1 being drawn to groups A through L. So basically every team from pot 1 goes to A, B, C, D, E, so on and so forth. See, and I'm learning my alphabet. It will then, continue, like I mentioned, to pots 2, pots 3, and 4 until all the teams are drawn. But for the first time in World Cup draw history, the venues and kickoff times for the matches won't be released on the same day as we learn the groups, and this is because FIFA has decided to give the best chance for people to watch in the correct time zones. So at least they're trying to do something good on here. So this next phase, which is basically the venues and kickoff times, will happen 24 hours later at a separate draw on Friday. So they're really maximizing like the marketing dollars here, Nanda. So 24 hours later, they'll have the full schedule revealed starting at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific on Saturday. So that will be another fun one to watch. We'll have a chance to fret and celebrate on Saturday or on Friday as the groups are had. And then on Saturday, we'll get to see where those groups actually play. It should be a fun weekend, Ananda. So we do have a super chat from the homie XPH. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it, XPH. I saw some Alex Aguinaga stuff today, and I thought of you, XPH. Shout out to Rob and Ananda. Hit the like button and subscribe. Yes, do so, please. Also, shout out to Arquitekto Verbal. Oh, big shout out to Arquitekto.
Shout out, man.
Arquitekto, we gotta connect on season 4 music, man. Let us know. By all means, check out his work. Yes, definitely do. I recently discovered he has a song called Klein Out. He is very creative and talented. I haven't heard Klein Out actually, but I
remember that one. Yeah, that was.
Wait, have I heard that? Is that on the original?
He did it right around. He did it. I remember it was around our first season because he did it right around that time.
Then I gotta have heard it
in 23. Yeah, for sure. But anyways, guys, Rob is gonna give you guys a pop quiz on all the World Cup stuff. So expect him. Yeah. A pop quiz before the final.
Yeah, it'll be Scantron though, so don't.
It'll be Scantron. Yeah, it'll be multiple choice, so don't worry. Because you lost me after ABCs, and all I gotta say is ABCs as easy as 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's all I got from that. So there you go.
Yeah, well, yes. There was a lot to take in there. Maybe we'll go ahead and try to simplify that for you.
When the draw comes out, it'll be a little more clear. We'll have some graphics because I'm a visual. I'm a visual learner as well. So
exactly. We'll have some charts. Ready for some more cheese, man?
Ooh, I don't like this one, but go ahead.
I don't like this one either. But apparently, Mauricio Cuevas has been in the transfer rumor mill. There's some online chatter that the Galaxy are actively shopping Mauricio Cuevas in Mexico. So far, Club America and Toluca are the teams that are mentioned as being possible suitors. However, there have been no reliable sources as of yet. Watch this space. We'll go ahead and update you with anything that we hear or find out. But Ananda, you mentioned you're not a fan of this one. You don't like this one. Neither do I. I mean, is this a smart move? I mean,
well, again, we talk about the roster thing. I think I would much rather have, as the more I think about this, the more I'm like, I would much rather have Harbor Miller and Mauricio Cuevas. And if you needed to let someone go, it would have to be Mickey Yamane for me, because those are the guys that are your rising stars, and you're going to get them on half of the salary, and you want to give them minutes to grow and develop and see if they've got what it takes, right, to get to the next step, whether that's Mexico or somewhere else, or maybe with a couple of really good seasons on a title winning team, they could even set their sights in Europe. Who knows? We don't know what the potential is of a guy like Mo Cuevas. I think this would be too early for him. But like I said, from a roster perspective and just from a growth and development perspective, he needs more minutes. We talked about it on the defender grades too.
Okay, cool. I'm with that, and I agree. But say America comes back with the bag, how much is acceptable for you?
I mean, I don't know. It's got to be something ridiculous, like in the double digits, right? I mean, 3 to 5 million. Like that's nothing. That again, so that's nothing. Like a couple of million to this organization, I don't think is a lot, right? It's probably a drop in the bucket. But again, I think his upside, the fact that he's homegrown, the fact that he's on a really good trajectory again, and I just don't think he's ready. Like I really don't. Like I think he needs more minutes. Like what was his minute? I can't remember his minutes tally last year, but it wasn't enough. Like he needs to be playing like John Nelson minutes, over 2,000 minutes consistently, to really show us what he's got, because he's got to prove durability and consistency in his game, not just the defensive side, right? He needs more minutes.
Yeah, well, you and I both agree on this. However,
that's a shot for you, Rob.
Damn, you got me on this one. Well, it's still a shot for you, because I'm gonna make you take it with me. So there you go. Yeah, it's one of those things where if it is true, and I don't, like, just based on the way the Galaxy have been doing business, I don't foresee it actually being true, then they need to get a bag for him. I mean, and America has money, so they can pay what he's worth. I mean, if you're saying he's, based on the stats he showed us last pod, based on his upward trajectory, based on the fact that he is a player that is young and has a big upside. Yeah, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that one day he could be worth that 10 million. He's not worth that now, but that's not to say that Club America won't pay it. They have paper, so why not? But yeah, I'm not a fan of this either. I would say stay for sure. Mauricio, the Galaxy family loves you here. Plus you get to develop, and
yeah. Yeah, well, I was gonna say, now if you could work out a little swap deal with Zendejas, now that could be interesting. But well, that's more of like, that's a pipe dream. So, anyways, not the right move for me, I don't think. And not for him too.
Sorry, I'm laughing at XPH. Te quiero tanto. Te quiero también tanto. Man, that is the joint. That is the bop right there, XPH.
Pero le queremos tanto a este jugador que vamos a hablar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. This one is on paper, kind of enticing, but Christian Benteke, a free agent now, he says, "Thank you, DC United, for giving me the opportunity to grow and prove myself in MLS. To the fans, my teammates, the staff, and the city, your support during my 3 years meant everything to me. Grateful for the journey and ready for the next chapter." So what could be Christian Benteke's next chapter? Well, he is now eligible for free agency after declining after DC United declined his 2026 option. Per Tommy Bogert, DC still hopes to convince him to stay on a new deal, but they're looking to do so on a TAM deal. So on TAM money, how many clubs would be pushing to sign him? Would you, for example, take this 35-year-old at the LA Galaxy? Well, let's look at the numbers. In 2025, 9 goals, 2 assists in 25 matches. He is 35 years old. Ananda, what do you think? If he's on TAM money, do you make this happen?
Yeah, this is an intriguing one. It's like one of those things, right?
It could go either way, man.
You could go. This is one of those things again. You can go either way because, like, one side of me says we don't need another aging star on the team. We already got one, right? And he's a really valuable piece to the team and can even slot into that false 9 position. And you want to go younger, but then at the same token, like Christian Benteke, you give him the ball in the box and he knows how to find the back of the net. Now, look, he had a down year in 2025, but I think, to be honest, that's more of an indictment of how bad DC United is or are versus like the player that Christian Benteke is. I mean, you think about the service that he would get on this team with Ricky Puig and the 2 wingers, and now you have a proper, and I mean a proper target man, number 9 in that box, Rob, just basically poaching goals, and he's really, really strong in the air. That could be an interesting proposition. But then again, I look at the balance of the team and it's like, do you need another aging attacking star? That's where I get tripped up.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, in my head, it makes a lot of sense. Like eSuper1 says, imagine Benteke in front of Joe, Peck, and Rick. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Yeah,
I mean,
that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, in my head, on paper, like the cat's gonna eat. But I said the same thing about Christian Ramirez. You know, like, oh, when he comes back, when Ricky comes back, Christian Ramirez is gonna eat, and he might still. Who knows? We haven't seen him play with Ricky, but I mean, this is a 35-year-old who, again, had a down year in production. Not his fault, probably more his team's fault. But this is kind of antithetical to what the Galaxy have been doing recently.
Actually, I'm going to say 2 things now that I'm thinking about this a little bit more. So one is I'm glad you brought up Christian Ramirez because I feel like we need a different profile. And so that's why, like, if I were to compare, like, if you were to ask me who would you rather have, Benteke or Josef Martinez, I would go for Josef probably 9 times out of 10 because he's a different profile of striker, a guy that will sort of run into the channels a little bit more agile, will get around the pitch, is comfortable playing a second striker in the buildup rather than a target. Because like you said, we have that type of profile in Christian Ramirez, right? So that was one thing I was thinking about. And then, excuse me, I gotta hold on once. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, tried to mute my mic there for a second.
It's all right. We forgive you.
Well, and the other thing I was thinking about too was for that money, let's kind of prioritize a little bit, and I would go for a center back, right? And so this goes to the squad building conversation of like, okay, do you want 2 high-level TAM players on your team that are aging superstars in the attack, or would you rather just take one of those out and put that budget towards a defense that has leaked goals for years and years and years? And your Maya Yoshida isn't getting any younger, and you need to beef up that defense, right? So that's thinking more about it. That probably makes more sense. But again, I could go either way, but I think I'm leaning more towards no.
Well, we have Agent GCam in chat who says Ramirez swap deal and we'll throw in some Herbalife products. He also says Ramirez 60 pupusas a year supply of protein powder. I don't know if they're going to go for that, GCam, but it is an interesting proposition. Yeah, this is a tough one. I don't know. I mean, if this has been taken at 30, all day, right? But he's 35, I mean, if he's going to be your striker day in and day out, if you can get him on the right money and bring him and, have him as an option for depth because you're going to be playing a shit ton of games, yeah, all day. But if he's going to be your striker every day, I don't know if I like that one, man. I mean, he's even last year he played 25 games, right?
But on paper, JP, Peck, Benteke, Ricky, and Marco to close out a game when you need a goal. that's a fire front five.
Gonna be stupid.
Anyways,
It's gonna be stupid.
Be stupid. Yeah.
Well, I was, doing my research on Benteke today, and I came across a Matt Doyle article, which, had some food for thought in it. He brought up some stats about Sporting Kansas City's Mason Toye, who is also a free agent, and the numbers look good. Ananda, I mean, he's in the upper percentiles in a lot of these statistics. The 27-year-old's played 21 matches, 3 goals, 2 assists. And I was looking at a lot of these comparisons, Mason Toye versus Musovski, Mason Toye versus Peter Musa, and the numbers stack up pretty nicely against one or the other. I mean, I don't know too much about Mason Toye, but
likewise.
But these numbers are kind of convincing, and so when Doyle goes, hey, this cat's an ideal fit for the Galaxy, who need depth at a striker position, this Mason Toye fellow seems to, at least on paper, again, look pretty enticing. So that's going to be one that we'll watch as well. Obviously, the Galaxy, Greg Vanney's spoken heavily about his want for a number 9. 3 goals, 2 assists from Toye does not seem to fit the profile of what Vanney has told us that he's looking for. So I don't see this one happening. But again, the data, the numbers look pretty good. So again,
the only thing I don't like about the data is the minutes, 519 minutes or whatever it said on that pie chart. So again, I think the sample size is too small. I need to see more. Like if those numbers were from 2000 minutes, that's a totally different conversation. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that's what Greg is looking for. I think, funnily enough, Benteke is probably what more along the lines of what Greg is looking for, maybe other than the age profile.
Oh yeah, like I said, I mean, if he was 30, this would be Greg's ideal striker for sure. But speaking of Greg and ideal, let's look at some player grades now and see which player, midfielder, if any, had an ideal season. Spoiler alert, none did. But before we get into this, it's a good moment to remind you guys that we love y'all, and go ahead and spread the word about this humble little podcast and tell everybody, tell your friends, el lechero, el elotero, la lonchera, anybody that likes to listen to news about soccer, and they have a home here. So tell them what's up, subscribe. Ananda, anything to add on that front?
Let's get into some grades, man. Let's do what we always do, which is start off with the NAs, and let's get that low hanging fruit out of the way. And of course, I base my NA off of minutes played. And unfortunately, Rob, the first guy we got to talk about is the guy that we're pretty much building a momentous occasion around in the start of the 2026 MLS campaign for the LA Galaxy, which is obviously Ricky Puig. So he gets an NA because he unfortunately played no minutes. You know what? I'm really I don't know when they're going to drop episode 2. But I'm really looking forward to episode 2 and whatever. I'm
giving him an F.
Just for what?
For failing, because they told us he was going to be there at availability, and he wasn't.
Oh, okay, that's your criteria. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't on Galaxy Comms. I mean, from what I hear, he was just like, "No, I don't want to do it." So I'm
gonna expect a tweet from Ricky, because he listens to the show, and he's probably gonna.
It's his favorite podcast. He told me so. But I mean, I'm giving him an F for that, because he, didn't show up, and then I think it was you that told me, like, he was putting stories on Instagram like an hour later where he was golfing, and I'm like, that's not cool, bro. You can't tell us you're not going to show up for us and then go golfing. Come on, blood.
And
that's why you get an F.
And I did see a story the other day that I shared with my wife from a Catalonian publication that I think it was yesterday or it was the week of Thanksgiving for sure. I think Anul AA and Omar Montes had like a crazy birthday party, concert, private event, whatever thing. in Barcelona, and of course, the Prince who was promised had to be there. So,
but you couldn't be at a media availability. That's why you get an F from me, sir. I love you. You are the Prince who was promised, but for this one, you get an F. You could, however, turn that F into an A by coming on the Samba Little podcast, and you know what? That's how you can go ahead and turn that frown upside down. But yes, Ricky gets an NA from you, Ananda. He gets an F from me. Not for sporting reasons. But anyway, Ruben Ramos also an NA. Only played 130 minutes in the league, 6 games played, only 70 minutes in the Champions Cup, 2 games played. This was supposed to be the season that he broke out. Both Will and Greg spoke about him at the beginning of the season. It didn't happen from the season. This one is going to be a big year for him and what his future with the Galaxy will be. Another NA, Tucker Lepley. Tucker's a dog. I love this guy. Unfortunately, unfortunately, he just hasn't gotten the minutes here with the Galaxy. Only 558 minutes played in MLS, 16 games played, 91 in the Champions Cup, 2 games played. Memorably, one of those was against Herediano, and he was just a pest on Herediano. I remember just those players looking around at each other like, yo, what is this guy on? Like, but anyway, shout out to Tucker for that Herediano match. 1 assist in that 2-2 draw away at Seattle. And yeah, that's pretty much the story of a season. Not a lot of minutes played, so we got to give him an NA. But I'm gonna give him an A for just kind of like projected A, because again, the guy's a dog. I mean, I hope he develops into the player that I believe that he can become. So anyway, more vibes on that A than actual work. But that's his prediction. So anyway, you can go ahead and project vibes. So now we get into actual grades. Ananda, take it away.
Yeah, so the first guy we'll talk about here, I'll take that off so everyone can see these stats. Actually, not Elijah Winder. We'll go with Elijah Winder first, I guess. I had another guy on. Let's see if I have. Did I have him on? Anyways, we'll go with Winder. I don't know where what my slide deck is up to right now. Let me just make sure. Oh, it looks all weird on my thing because I don't know if we had this guy on. But anyways, we'll go with Winder first. So Rob, this is one of those guys again. Signed him from USL, right? I mean, really interesting season for Winder in that I think he finished off very strongly. And because he was given the opportunities, right? At the end of the day, you got to have your opportunities. And, at the end of the day, with the minutes that he played, he only played 958 minutes. So that's got to go up. Hopefully next year, I think he'll be a more integral part of the team. But the things that stick out to me initially are just the fact that he can be an attacking player. I mean, he is more of an attacking 8. He is a guy that will make those deep lying runs from midfield. Really strong in the dribble. That's the one thing from the eye test, just like really strong physically, and he can get up the pitch. And that's one of his strengths is like his dribbling capacity and his ability to get up the pitch and hold defenders off with his dribble. So if I look at those dribbling stats there in the middle, Rob, like progressive carries, successful take-ons, I mean, he's up there in those percentiles, right? And the progressive passes received, that means that he is getting those progressive passes in higher areas of the pitch, which is where we want Elijah. So hopefully he just, carries on from that, builds from that. But again, I think those numbers, I hope those numbers will stay with the more minutes that he gets and that production stays. Cause like I said, you think about like the goal that he had against, I want to say it was FC Dallas at home, breaking through and getting that goal, kind of chipping or going to the other side of the keeper. Really nice composure there in the final third, 1-on-1 versus the keeper, right, Rob? So you look at that and you say, okay, that's where Elijah's got to be for this team. Just like really stable in the midfield, but being physical and getting to that box.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of Elijah that we saw this year. Some good, some bad. We saw those goals, or that first goal against FC Dallas, that shows a lot of the promise of the player that he could be. Greg using him a little bit higher up the pitch. It'll be interesting to see what he looks like in combination with, say, a midfield of him, Edwin, and Ricky Puig, for example, how that might look. But he didn't start the year off great by his own admission. It took him a little while to get adjusted and learn Greg's system. Started badly, ended strongly. I'm going to give him a C.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Like I said, I hope we give him more minutes next year. So I'll give him a C as well, maybe C plus. I think he finished the year strongly, but he's just got to show more consistency now, and I think that'll come with more minutes. Like I said, hopefully he'll start off. Well, hopefully he'll get the opportunities to, especially in CCC, and then kind of just build from there. So yeah, really promising player. Again, if you look at this midfield, Rob, just going up a level for a second, if you look at this big picture, like the midfield was probably one of the biggest drop-offs this year, other than maybe the number 9 position. But you have all these guys that what you're hoping is the floor kind of raises for the midfield, and all these guys take a step forward and gets back to the midfield quality that you had with Brugman, Delgado, Cerrillo at his best, right? We'll talk about Cerrillo a little bit later too. And that's what you're hoping with some of these guys sort of raising the quality of their game just by a little bit to help the overall midfield.
Who else we got?
Let me see. Let me pull up here. So we just talked about Elijah, Lucas Sanabria, Rob. So this is another guy. Again, you look at his minutes, only 983 minutes again this year. He was really, really caught off guard in the beginning of the season from that unfortunate collarbone injury, Vancouver away, second game of the season. That kind of just derailed it for the rest of the season. But when he did play, 21 matches played, 2 goals. You remember that late equalizer at Houston away, really, really nice floated cross from John Nelson from the left, and sort of a running header. You know, that's not something you expect from Lucas Sanabria, but he got that game-tying goal. Really, really interesting game there. Leagues Cup, he had 157 minutes, 5 games played, 1 assist. Again, you look at his salary, $695K, but again, that gets a little bit assisted there with the U22. So not all of that goes against the cap, but you are investing a lot in this guy. I believe 21 or 22 years old. I can't remember exactly. Still young, has tons of room to develop. But if you look at the stats, the underlying stats, again, very similar to Winder, right? He's a guy that can get in the offensive third. I think when we signed him initially, we wanted him to play that Mark Delgado role. And so to play that role, you've got to have a nose of getting in the box and getting on the end of certain things and contributing to the attack in some way. But the other strength of Lucas Sanabria is also his defensive duties, right, Rob? Like you look at those tackles, interceptions, and blocks in the 90th, 80th percentiles of each of those things. I think we know that from Lucas, like he's a very combative player. But what we want to see a little bit more is like those passing stats, like whether it's progressive passes or even his completion. Like he's not a tidy player yet, like an Edwin Cerrillo. And I think that's probably the next phases of his game is, can he combine, if you want to hold down that midfield, especially with a guy like Ricky Puig, like, can you not only make the defensive play, but turn really good defensive plays into quick offensive transitions, right? And that's going to be the next step for Lucas Sanabria, in my opinion. And also just having him be a little bit more involved in that attack.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the big thing here. A lot was expected from him, and the Galaxy have invested a lot in him. $5 million to be exact was the number that was paid to El Nacional. So these two players, Elijah Winder and Lucas Sanabria, were brought in the same summer. Lucas with a little bit more fanfare, a little bit more expectation. And because of that expectation, because of the fact that I gave Elijah a C for starting the season poorly and kind of coming on a little bit towards the end of the year, and I don't feel like Lucas came on as strongly as Elijah did, I got to give him a C minus.
Actually, that's probably fair. I think he underperformed. I think he's probably more of like a failing grade for me. Again, he's probably like a C minus or a D, but just based off the expectation. You called it, man. Like U22 spot is a really, really important spot. Now, granted, this was his first season, a lot of adjustment, right? Young kid coming from a South American league. So maybe give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time,
well, here's what I was going to say, right?
Yeah.
You said it. Give him the benefit of the doubt because this guy has shown a propensity for hard work, right? I wrote an article about him at the beginning of the year that, you know, this guy would travel a couple hours each way every day for training, right? So he didn't have it easy, and even though he didn't have it easy, he followed through and actually made the first team at El Nacional and had a great first season. So this is a player who will try to at least come good, you know, like he knows these Galaxy players know they didn't have a good year. Lucas is another one of them. He told us, he's like, you know, I didn't have the year that I wanted to have. Of course, all this is in Spanish, but the C- this year, hopefully he comes good next year and he is a good return on investment.
Yep. So again, I think we're a lot of big things expected for Lucas. I feel like, Rob, he will turn that grade a little bit higher, more towards a B, especially with playing next to Ricky Puig. I think that's going to help him a lot, as well as all the other midfielders. And maybe if I remember, I'll say something about, like, I think Ricky's going to be so important to progressing the quality of a lot of these players. It's going to take a lot of the burden off of them in the midfield. We'll talk about a little bit of that and some of these other guys. Yeah, a lot of the pressure. But let's talk about Isaiah Parente, Rob. This is a guy. This is a guy who, if you think about guys like, you know, Tucker Lepley, Ruben Ramos, some of those guys we talked about, Isaiah was in a very similar position these last couple of years. And this year he got his opportunity, right? 1,050 minutes. Again, he got his opportunity mostly due to the injury situation that we had. And we just needed that cover, you know, a guy that can play that double pivot alongside Edwin Cerrillo. And again, if you look at his stats, like the thing that we've always known about Isaiah Parente, very, very tidy player, right? You look at those passes attempted, pass completion, progressive passes, very strong, neat and tidy on the ball. But one thing that maybe this stat sheet doesn't really show you, or the underlying doesn't show you as much, Rob, is the fact that from the eye test, like, we know that he has a propensity to lose the ball in bad situations, right? Especially in his own defensive zone. So while he is tidy on the pass, maybe he's not as strong on the ball. He tends to turn over the ball in high pressure situations. You've called out a couple of them. We've called out a couple of them on this show, right? So I think that's probably his decision making there and being a little bit more stronger on the ball. But Rob, when he's on, he's a very tidy player. Now, the question is going to be, like, can he hold that double pivot position down, and can he offer more than just being a neat and tidy player, right? Because I think maybe you're expecting a little something, like you're expecting a little bit more ball progression, whether it's through the pass or the dribble. You think about guys like Edwin Cerrillo, right? He's got a really strong tackling ability. Isaiah Parente, you see it in those stats, he's not a strong tackler, right? Defensively, he's a guy that just knits the play together and is just again a neat and tidy player, but does nothing really spectacular. So I don't know, man. It's an interesting one for Isaiah. We've debated on the show whether he deserves another look in next year, whether this is a guy that we need to move on from, right? Whether he's hit his ceiling. I don't know, but the stats, they're not too impressive. Again, I think it supports what we know, and that he's just a little neat and tidy player. That's all.
We do have a super chat from the homie Adam. He says, I might have missed this. Are the Cuevas rumors true? Well,
no, not yet.
They're just that at the moment, just rumors. Nothing concrete, nothing reliable in the way of sources. So watch the space, though. We'll go ahead and update you when we know more. I feel like Edwin should be next, or is he next?
Yeah, he is, but we haven't given our grade for Isaiah yet.
Oh, okay. I mean, I feel like I've kind of made my feelings on Isaiah known. Yeah.
Oh, well, let me put I forgot to do this, because let's put it in context, Rob. So his output, right? 1 assist in 25 games played in the league, 2 assists in CCC in 7 games played, salary $104K. So does that change your opinion a little bit?
It does. 104K for this player isn't bad. I mean, is he gonna make 104K next year? Because remember, his contract was re-upped, so his option was taken. So it remains to be seen what he makes next year. If that goes a dollar over 175K, then yeah, I'm probably having issues with it at that point, because you got to remember a player like Azale Jackson was on less than 175K last year when we clocked that. So you can get a Azale Jackson level player for about that money.
I'm going to be a little more fair to Isaiah. So what are you giving him, by the way? Like a C minus, C?
Yeah, it's got to be like a C minus.
I'm going to give him maybe a little bit higher than that, like maybe a C plus or B minus, because Rob, I'm going to judge him for what he is. He is a $175,000 depth piece as your maybe second or third midfielder coming off the bench. And if that's the role that he's playing for this team, and to close out games in the last 20 minutes, keep things ticking and protecting a 2-1 lead, I'm going to give him like a C plus or B minus. But if we're asking him to do more, to play starters level minutes, I don't think he's there yet. And so I'm just going to grade him for what I think he is, which is just that, a serviceable backup.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And I'm with that. You know what? Like that's a good perspective to have. Now, looky who we have here. Major League Sounds, who I believe is the homie Arquitekto Verbal.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, you missed it, man. We actually showed you some love earlier tonight. The homie XPH.
XPH found out about Klein out, man. He's digging that track. So everyone go to Arquitekto's page and check out his tracks, man. He's got tons of them.
He should
tons of bangers.
He should be in your game day rotation for sure. And then, like I said, when we mentioned you, man, we got to start rapping about season 4 music, man, because everybody's come to know and love the fact that you produce this beautiful song for the intro, man. So hopefully we get to rap with you on that one soon.
I mean, hey,
much love, Arquitekto.
Dude, Will Kuntz knows him, man. By heart, he's like, hey, you that cat that threw down some tracks for La Cuna, dog.
Well, now Will Kuntz knows him. He's like, oh, who are you guys?
Yeah,
much love, Arquitekto.
Much love.
We love the fact you're getting some love from Will, man. We have a couple of super chats from Lon Adam. Thank you so much. He says, any Eastern Conference teams you're excited to watch versus Galaxy for next season, or any Eastern Conference teams you wish Galaxy could have played in 2026. And then he has another super chat. It says, do you guys think Walker Zimmerman will sign a new contract with Nashville, and for how long? Let's go ahead and hit this. First one first. Yeah, Adam. I mean, I really, really want to see Atlanta,
and Montreal,
and I feel like they're in Nashville. That was my third one, man, because obviously Montreal's because the truth is there, and
something different.
Galaxy Mom has been nice enough to say that she'd be tour guide in Montreal, so that's awesome, and we'd get to see Bubs, Jalen's cat, so that's another piece of awesomeness. Nashville, has some friends in the city, and Nashville has been historically nice to me. And then Atlanta, man, beautiful football culture.
Yep.
Just beautiful stadium holding 60,000 plus. They're there to watch soccer. And then I'll just end Atlanta with Claremont Lounge, lemon pepper wet. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, and then I second all that. And then the Walker Zimmerman piece. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read anything. What's going on with that? I feel like I
don't think he's gonna resign there.
I don't think he's gonna resign. And I don't know what teams are the suitors for him. Like we've talked about it on the show, whether the Galaxy would be a suitor for him. He'd be a really interesting one, in my opinion. And yes, XPH, this mug was gifted to us by a listener of the show. So there you go. Super, super lucky. And
shout out listener. We love you.
So yeah, who do we got? Let's get back to these guys. We got 3 left, Rob.
We got Edwin.
Three cats left. We got the dog. Got that dog in him. Yep. Mr. Edwin Serio. Rob, so let me do the high level here. So lots of minutes played, 2,673 minutes this season, 32 matches played. In the Cups, 827 minutes with 10 games played. So he did play a lot of matches, but here's the one stat, Rob. 0 goals and assists this season. No goal contributions for Edwin Serio. Again, bangers only. No bangers this season, unfortunately, for Edwin Serio. His salary, $538K. What's interesting to me, and this is the point that I wanted to tie in with the Ricky point earlier, Rob, which is, so we know about Edwin in terms of really, really strong on the ball. He actually can play by himself as a lone pivot, as a lone 6. He's shown the capacity to do that like he did in 2024. You look at all those passing stats, passes attempted, completion rates, progressive passes. He is the metronome. He is that, like, what we saw in his progression in 24 was he started transforming into that Gaston Bergman role that Gaston was serving in 22 and 23, right? And Edwin became that player. And just think about, by the way, that what a coup from Dallas, right? Like that, what a coup from Will Kuntz to sign this kid from FC Dallas when we did, and we saw the, we saw the potential in him. But one of the things that I thought about with Edwin is I think, you look at from 24 to 25, Rob, his progressive passes, that number 6.8 per 90, so per 90 minutes. That number actually doubled from 24 to 25. In 24, it was half of that. It was around 3. And so what you're going to see in a lot of these stats too is the fact that Ricky wasn't there to, how he always likes to drop between 2 center backs, pick up the ball and progress the ball and like go on these amazing runs. And when you don't have a guy like that, when you don't have a cheat code basically on your team, these other guys are going to, there's more onus on the other guys to progress the ball. And that's why you see the doubling of progressive passes in Edwin's game, for example. And he had to take a lot of that ball progression duty. Him and Diego Fagundes, which we'll talk about next as well, they had to really carry the load in terms of bringing the ball up the pitch to get into the final third and to get in those final actions. So again, if you think about the grade for Edwin, I mean, the no goal contributions, I mean, he's a defensive midfielder, but, expect him to chip in with the goal here or there. But up and down, man. Like I marry these stats with, I remember we had this conversation around Isaiah Parente that I've seen Edwin Serio make a couple of those mistakes that Isaiah Parente makes, right? Like losing the ball in not the best positions. Now, I don't know if I'd have to recall if any of them actually led to a goal or if there was any high profile mistakes, but I don't know. I don't think he progressed as much as he did from 23 to 24 as he did from 24 to 25. So I'm just going to give him a C. Like he was just kind of average this season. Nothing spectacular.
Yeah, I agree. He didn't progress. I would say if anything, he took a step back. I would say that Greg has identified the areas that he wants Edwin to become stronger. Now it's on Edwin to actually do that next year. And do that with Ricky Puig right next to him, who will allow him to hopefully get back to that 2024 Edwin, plus all the attributes that Greg is trying to instill in him. I think C is fair.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next guy. This one's going to kind of hurt a little bit because we have no idea what's going on with this contract situation.
Can we save him for last?
Okay, I'll save him for last. We're going to call an audible here, guys. Save him for last. Let's go to the German. No, not Thomas Müller. He's in the final, unfortunately. Look at that, man. Two Germans back-to-back years consecutively in the final. But we'll talk about Herr Royce here. Let's talk about his overall sort of minutes played. 1,482 minutes, 21 games played. Output was good, Rob. 5 goals, 8 assists in the league. In the Cup, he played 550 minutes, 7 games played, 3 goals in those Cup matches. I mean, you talk about output. And you're paying max TAM money for a veteran. I mean, you're pretty much getting the output that you want, right?
Right.
Close to 10 G and 10 assists. Again, that probably could have been up there if he played a little bit more minutes, but of course he was, dealing with some injury issues here and there throughout the year. Again, you don't expect him to play tons of minutes. And to be fair, when we signed him in 24, I didn't expect him to be a starter. I expected him to really be depth and cover and sort of play in those, middle game of the 3-game set in 7 days kind of thing. Again, salary 1.1 million. And I talked about the output, but if you look at all his, assist stats, passing stats, like really, really high up there amongst his peers there, assists 94%. I mean, Rob, he really carried this team in the middle of the season. Like, he was the guy that unlocked things in the final third when there was no Ricky. So, you look at the salary, you look at his output. I honestly think that Marco probably either maxed out or close to maxed out what he was supposed to do. And so I'm going to give him a pretty high grade, probably like a B+ or an A-. And the only reason why I'm knocking him down, and not to his fault or anything like that, was just his durability. Like, I wish he could play more minutes, because we really needed him in some of those games.
That's exactly why I'm just going to give him a B. Because I know it's not assault, but what's the best ability? Availability.
Yeah.
Right. And unfortunately he wasn't available. And I mean, the Galaxy were coming into a period there in the middle of the season where Greg had established Marco, Diego, and Edwin as his midfield, and the Galaxy were winning. They were rounding into form, and Marco got injured again, and they again took a step back. And I really got to believe that if Marco hadn't gotten injured, they probably would have righted the ship and probably would have made the playoffs. But again, you'll never know, because he wasn't available to do so. So I got to give him a B.
Yep. And because we saved this for last. And by the way,
shout out by the way, Diego Fernandez.
You guys in the chat, you guys in the chat, by the way, you guys can always go ahead and put in your player grades and what you guys think as well. If you disagree with us, let us know. If you think we're crazy, let us know as well. But crazy. Oh man, Dieguito Fagundes. Well, Rob, first thing that jumps out to me is his minutes. 25, close to 2,500 minutes. I mean, that's a lot, especially for at his age. I mean, he played pretty close to Edwin Cedillo minutes, which is always a mainstay for this team, right?
Remember, 32, he's only 30.
32 games played, 6 goals, 2 assists. Again, the production was there. And you think about 6 goals, 2 assists from a midfield position. I'll get back to that in a second. In the Cup, 783 minutes, 10 games played, 1 assist. Of course, he's currently a free agent. He was on 1.3 million in terms of his salary. And again, I look at that output and I say, from a midfield position, remember, out of those 32 games in the league, 18 of those games were played in central midfield, while the rest were played at left wing. So again, we're comparing these stats to those midfielders. And of course, in a central midfield role, you're not going to get as forward as much. And Diego's job was really to stable. Like Greg talked about this word stabilizing. Like, he really did stabilize the midfield. He gave it more technical security, more assurance, this idea of transitioning from defense to offense. Like, he needed, without Ricky there, you needed another connector. He tried Isaiah from the beginning of the season, and ultimately he resorted to Diego. And I think Diego performed admirably for this. And again, I talked about no Ricky, right? Like, on a per 90 basis, if you look at his stats from 2024, I mean, his passes attempted were less. He had a lower percentage completion in 2024, only 4.42 progressive passes. So without Ricky there, Diego and Edwin had to take more of the burden into how do we progress the ball from our third when teams are pressing us, when we're trying to build out of the back, get the ball from the center backs and move it to our forwards, right? Get it to our center forward and play 1-2s, get it to Joe and Gabby on the wing so they can operate, right? So again, Ricky's going to be a huge help to a lot of these guys, and I feel like it's going to stabilize. I can't harp on that enough. But in terms of Diego for 2025, I mean, he was a lot of the folks' like player of the season. He was probably the Galaxy's most stabilizing force in the team. So playing this new position in central midfield, I got to give him a high grade as well. Pretty close to a B+, maybe probably even an A-, Rob. Like, I think Diego performed really well, given that he, deputized in that central midfield role.
Yeah, no, you're not off. I mean, you pretty much summed it up perfectly. I mean, he was asked to do a lot this year in a lot of different positions, and for a team that was rudderless, and he brought them some kind of direction. I think B+ is totally fair. I mean, if the Galaxy don't resign him, I'm gonna miss this player. He is, like you mentioned, that stabilizing force, a player that can play on the wing or in the midfield. Is that locker room guy. But at the end of the day, his salary is 1.3 million, which is a killer for a team that is trying to stock up on depth. So yeah, I think B+ is fair.
Yeah, you hit on something too that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, right? It's the thing that Thomas Müller even brings to Vancouver that you don't see in the stat sheet. Like, there is a certain, not only stability, but a certain energy and a certain level of leadership and leading by example and barking orders and having those teachable moments both on and off the pitch that Diego brings that a lot of guys in this locker room don't bring. So,
well,
be a big miss.
That's yeah, no, I mean it's gonna suck if he doesn't sign. I mean, but whoever gets him is gonna get a player that's about to hit 80-80. So that'll be fun. That'll be a good celebration for you guys. Guys, that about wraps it up for us. I mean, Scott, you're absolutely right. It's past my bedtime too. So
yeah,
let's go ahead and wrap this. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Yes, Ananda.
Super chat really quick from Adam.
Yeah. How did I miss that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do have a super chat from the homie Adam. He says, and thank you very much. He says, will it be an upset if Vancouver wins Saturday and a failure for Miami? I'm also going for Vancouver. It would be nice to see a Japanese international goalkeeper Takaoka win a cup after Yoshida and Yamane. I don't think it'll be an upset, honestly. Like, Vancouver has a good team. They're good teams in different ways, and you know, if they win, I think it's going to be the culmination of a really good season for Vancouver. Like, they've been consistent all year, you know, except for like a little blip in the middle of the season, but I don't think it's going to be an upset. If they win, I do, however, feel like it'll be a failure for Miami if they lose. Everybody expects them to win, so they better damn win. I mean, this is like the storyline that Don Garber wants, sending Jordi Alba, Busquets off as champions. It just makes too much sense. So yeah, it's going to be a major letdown if they don't win it.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, Rob, we have a hater in the chat. I love this. I'm going to be petty for a second, and to Mr. Maney777, a la Madrid. That's all I'm going to say to you. I'm done.
What who's Mr. Maney777?
Oh, I'm not even gonna bring it up, but you know, it's fun. It's fun.
All right. Messi versus Muley. Why keep these headlines to the sounds of the joke? Don't compare Messi with any other present players. I mean, that's journalism. I mean, you talk about players compared to other players. I mean, but you know what? You're right. I'm gonna stop.
A la Madrid. That's it.
I'm gonna stop from now.
I know where that's coming from. I know the energy that's coming from. Anyways.
Anyway, let's wrap it up. All right. Next on this humble little podcast on Monday, December 8th, we'll be back with you with the world soccer news and tidbits, as well as bring you grades for the LA Galaxy attacking players. This one ought to be fun. On Thursday, December 11th, we'll be back with you for a quick one as we react to the Galaxy's Champions Cup draw and what that might mean for them for next year. And that's about it from us. Ananda, anything else to add before we get out of here?
Just want to say thank you to chat. I know it was a longer one tonight. We didn't think it was going to be a longer one, but it is. So thank you for staying up late on La Cuna After Dark, and we will catch you guys a week from today.
Did you do that ASMR right there?
No, you did.
Okay. Well, anyway,
now there's only a couple things left to say, or maybe only one thing left to say.
Only one thing left to say. Jesus.
That means we love you so much, Scott. Translation.